who has licks can operate a relayer, who has UN1 token can execute, who has UN1 can forge licks, who has licks can charge UN1. Forge. I don't. Oh, forge. I don't know how to forge. A balancer? I don't understand the forge aspect. That's a question I have. I think I need to like shut down. Participate. Fill in the form. Amazing. Awesome. So understanding the project's mission, basically understand he wants to merge this into this from this. He's let's take a look at the code. Tools, mock relayer. No, that's not the right one. Let's go back. Let's take a look at, he wants to move this in. 16 commits ahead. I can estimate the gas, but I cannot charge back. So he did this on mainnet by accident. Which means it's so confusing if I should try running this repo or not, or just explore it. Let's just look at the package JSON start. We know node, so okay. Oh, there's gonna be tons of stuff we don't really understand. Okay, so these seem like all these LUKSO things, you know. .env express. Okay, it's a Node Express app. I don't really know what Winston is. Ethers is for Ethereum signing methods. HTTP status looks like it's checking up time of a page or something. It's pinging. It's pulling in something. TypeScript. Blah blah blah. Count abstraction contracts from. Yeah, there's all kinds of a nodemon. Okay, yeah. So like just how you run it, right? What's the README saying? It's just saying begin sending transactions with a dummy relayer, create an env to hold the parameters. What does that copy env look like? So host, port, boot node, enable transaction gate, chain ID, signer private key is valid, signature magic value, operator up address. What is going on here? Oh, that's okay. There's a lint rule, git ignore, package JSON. There it is. That's, you know, very okay. Test, lint, build dev. So it's going to generate types, start. Okay. And fuck it, let's get into it, might as well. So global TypeScripts export const is basically either node processes or some beginning stuff, right? Right, what is docs? What is this link here? I'm just playing around now. Now I really have no idea what I'm doing, but right. Nope. It's okay. Right. Operator charge link. Yeah, it's fine. App. All right, so it's creating a express server. It's got a logger. It's got a quota controller. Interface, middleware, service, and signature. It's connected to a host, start server. Use the relayer controller. And use the quota controller. Okay. So that it's using some services or auth functions, right? The library, what do we got? Listener, logger, signer. Okay. So we're pulling in the logger from here, which is Winston. Okay, so Winston just helps you log some shit, it looks like. All right. And we're back at the app. Like, okay, quota controller, express, response, status, handle quota, quota service, validate signature auth. Interesting. So and the globals is where they have the contract. So config, there's an express. Yeah, man, there's all kinds of good stuff going on here. And accept. So this is what I am interacting with when I've just submitted that relayer in my wallet. What you guys saw me do earlier, that's this. That's super cool. That this is just out here for basically any project that is going to be capable to deploy and manage this microservice. Right? Like, I don't think this is going to be so much. It's close to set it, forget it, maybe, but like you're going to need someone like Blaze, or you're going to want a dev to rock this with, for sure. And yeah, like congratulations, Blaze. Like, this is a amazing project submission that you've done here, and let's actually watch your video.
Hello everybody, I'm Blaze and I'm CEO of buildUP2. We are a boutique dev house which specializes in blockchain, and we are...
Yeah, we are 110% watching this video. This is value add.
Hello everybody, I'm Blaze and I'm CEO of buildUP2 house which specializes in blockchain, and we are building on LUKSO almost since the beginning. We just missed the L14, but all the others until mainnet we are here. Now we want to introduce you to the distributed relayer, one of the proposition and standard proposals that could be adopted and have a vast impact in the ecosystem. So I'm recording that now in November 2023. We are in beta phase of the universal profiles, and all the standards are very, very dynamic at this moment. But we have great settlement to create the seamless and gasless experience for your mama and for me and for everybody else. But we will spot some problems in current setup, and this scope that I will be presenting in this solution, like decentralized relayer, token-gated decentralized relayer system, is an answer to those questions that you will see and you can see and spot in here. But also we have a problem of the builders. So what happens if LUKSO relayer is down? You can get your controller keys and still, but how do I top up my controller? And what happens if I like import and whoa, so many questions. So like most probably you will have conclusion that if you want to run a stable business and you are a technical guy, most probably either you will like really hack it like I did to make it work, or just use third-party solutions like the solution that I will be presenting to you. So sometimes it's better to pay $5 instead of spending 48 hours trying to hack things. So let's talk about this.
I agree with what he says. It's better to pay $5, but part of the fun of a rabbit hole, guys, is like to learn. That 48 hours of learning is invaluable. So I would encourage to do both. Spend 48 hours hacking it and pay $5 if you can.
Decentralized problems and solutions for those problems. So decentralized problems require decentralized solutions. As you can see, in my opinion, L2s are a bit passé. It's like old story of fixing your car with like duct tape. So now we don't need to have a duct tape. We can have many components that are in an ecosystem that allows you to interact with the blockchain, not even knowing that, or better for the builders, to provide a seamless experience for the users. So I will be just talking about relayer provider today, but there are many other products or solutions that we are building within an ecosystem. So check us out and contact us if you are really willing to explore them. So let's talk about relayer provider. Scope of the presentation is to just talk about everything that is needed to understand LSP7 token-gated relayer system and some demonstrations end-to-end. So let's talk about personas. What is a persona? It's very common in mobile or like development or any kind of development that you create some kind of persona that you think you will be handling, like your customer or your like enemy or any other like something imaginable. So this persona is a girl from Ipanema. She likes cats and occasionally play clicker games. But I would like to like introduce her to the blockchain, and I would like to introduce her to the LUKSO because she will love it. She will love the cloths. She will love the like merc. She will love everything based on the profile, but it needs to be delivered to her, and she cannot have a friction obtaining that. So let's talk about how can it be done, and in my opinion that's the least friction you will provide to the user, to the mobile user or any user, because everybody has a mobile phone. So this person unlocks the phone, downloads the app. What is the app you might see? It's an imaginary app. This app, one of these apps you will be able to consume from Yun1.io ecosystem, but that's not the scope of the presentation. So she downloads the app creates a key. That's the assumption. What is the key? Simple ECDSA controller key, which means same thing like in Ethereum. Nothing more, nothing less. You can extract it from MetaMask. You can create it programmatically or obtain it from the ledger. That doesn't really matter. In our case, we will be creating this key for the user without any click. So someone logs in, signs up. During the social login, the app itself creates a random key and allows you to log into the system. If the social login passes outside of the application, the hook will notify the backend systems or the operator or anyone to provide the profile to the girl from Ipanema. How to provide that? There's one trick. I haven't told you, but assumption of this relayer is that everyone has, all users that will be using this relayer will have a profile, so we need to deliver them. So universal profile factories, so application that will either on the backend, on the front end, or any other like way will create the universal profiles beforehand, before even the user registers. So imagine something like having a warehouse of UPs and just forwarding those UPs from the backend to the allowing the controller to control the universal profile during the social login. Having that approach will also allow us to create all the LSPs or forward all the LSPs that needs to be forwarded to the particular application, and also it allows to authorize the operators. More about it later, but those are steps to pink pills.
Awesome. So what he's describing here is like the future of users using blockchain without even knowing they're using blockchain, and it should just come from an app that can create a key to store the user data's transactions or whatever the assets of the game are, the experience that are going to be used. Here it looks like it's a cash Kazan, like a, you know, like a gambling game. It could be a lottery, it could be a click-based game, it could be Call of Duty, and looks like the app might want to so this is where it depends, and it's really up to app developers to decide how much of the blockchain experience and how much of LUKSO do you abstract away. A lot of the times, like a lot of the dApps we see and like the financial incentive structures that we see build up around apps or dApps in EVM and blockchain is basically just like, you know, things that explain that play with financial primitives. Users like to make money. Users like to speculate. Users like leverage. Users like stable stores of value. All of the things that we've just speed ran as far as use cases of crypto over the last decade and where the current tech is at has kind of brought us to this idea of what if you wanted to play this cat game, like you download an app, what happens behind the scenes. These are the steps that he's describing, like being loaded with X amount of free transactions, and those are credited to your newly created social login, new account, right? The created key for this account that gets funded with LSP7s, and now you can use universal profile under the hood in this application, right? And I think that's one way forward. Another way forward is going to be reusable identities that to connect existing universal profiles to apps. And I think most certain types of applications are 100% going to just like almost build from the app chain model to abstract away the account because your account is siloed within the application of that game versus bring your friends, bring your data, bring your universal profile reputation with you to my ecosystem because I'm creating an information marketplace that rewards people who share alpha, and it's gamified and follows rules of code of law, and these are the logic and the primitives that I'm experimenting with, etc. So from app developer standpoint, like how we picture onboarding the next 4.2 million normies into LUKSO, and not assuming that they are already crypto Web3 natives or degens or people that are just going to have like my level of knowledge. Like we need to explain, like, unfortunately crypto doesn't win unless it powers the infrastructure that powers the internet and no one knows about it. That's what a victory looks like, right? It's not, we're here to help build that future. That's why we're so excited about the tech. It's really going to be like, hey, I don't care. I just need it to be safe, secure, and better than what exists right now. Let's keep watching Blaze's show.
So let me rephrase that in a direct the communication to the girl from Ipanema or to my mother. Like, you get the phone, you download the app, you click login, you use your email, that's it. Nothing really more than that. Why that approach? I have approached to the game studio and they have told me I give 3 interactions with the blockchain, then user either buys in-game gems or still play off-chain. There's a great niche of off-chain and on-chain games that tries to solve the problem of the friction. Universal profiles and all the LSPs, maybe not all of them, but some of them are really the solution to the problems that people were having. But we've got some requirements. As you can see, in that approach, we need to have some kind of UP factory that I have mentioned before, that someone needs to literally create those profiles and forward them. That's not the part of the scope. Mobile application, not the part of the presentation either. I assume that they are there. Authenticator, yeah, somehow you need to use social logins. There are many of them. I won't be saying anything about it because that's not a part of this presentation. RPC, standard RPC communication, and a relayer, and that's the part of the story that I would like to tell. So there's a great warning. Presented approach works only on LUKSO mainnet. All the repositories that I will be talking to you and showing you, and all the approach is on the mainnet. So you might notice the more traffic on the mainnet. Most of the transactions, when there is a high peak, most probably that's my fault. Sorry, but I'm not sorry. I'm really happy to really be already on the mainnet, not on the testnet. Let me explain some actors. Let me introduce to you some actors. So we've got operator. Operator runs the relayer. How do you run a relayer, you would wonder? You've got a personal computer or something in the cloud or whatever, what has most probably Mac or Unix like Ubuntu. Therefore, you need to have some ECDSA key, commonly known like EOA, which stands for externally owned address, is a standard key that you are using in Ethereum already. If you are not familiar with Ethereum, don't worry, focus on LUKSO. This is like Ethereum 2.0 or like 7.0. I don't know about like incrementation of the numbers, but really it's a game changer. So the same components: ECDSA key, EOA, operator, someone who runs the relayer, so someone who runs the backend, really like a gateway. Few recipient, most probably the same persona like as operator, but there's one difference, one huge difference. But business scenarios can be many business scenarios where few recipient is totally different persona or not even existing. But at this point, this person will receive LSP7 token, and it is an UP, which means this is a universal profile, not the ECDSA key. It's worth to understand that. So let's say that UP is just a person or entity or like some kind of abstraction of like real entity, real life entity. The keys are like, you've got a key chain. Within those keys, most probably you've got 3 or 11 or 25, it depends, or like one master key and some slave keys to your home. So the same happens to your profile. You can have many keys, many keys, many devices that will allow you to still consume the profile. Next persona is a relayee. It's a universal profile as well, and this is LSP7 token spender, which means that this persona will use LSP7 token in order to use the relayer system. And the controller. I call it controller because this controller will be laying on, in that particular scenario, in the mobile phone of the relayee. And this controller have access to the relayee universal profile and its ECDSA key, EOA, as I mentioned before. So let's talk more about how the magic happens. Let's say that relayee have a balance of LSP7 which is equal to 3 and no native leaks. So she cannot pay for the gas at all. You would wonder, where did she get Uni1IO LSP7 tokens? That's not part of this presentation. She got that. That's all you need to know. How? Maybe other presentation someday. Let me know. So one really great thing that can happen is that this relay also can have an authorized operator for the LSP token. What is an authorized operator? It is ECDSA key, it's EOA, that is able to transfer LSP7 tokens on your behalf. Let's talk about it later on, but maybe you already noticed some greenery and red maybe you already figured it out. Let's talk about the use case, user story. So this relay uses the mobile phone, where as a key, she has a key securely stored in here. This key is just an address, EOA address, and in that particular scenario, it has 0 LUKS token. So still, the controller key couldn't interact with the blockchain because you can't pay for the gas. So when everything is signed and the DApp, so decentralized application, is done well, therefore there will be some part that she will sign and send to the relayer. Most probably this will be one click like purchase, or like mint something, or get something in a game, or like change data in my profile, anything that you would like to do with the blockchain. You are not limited almost to nothing, except that I will be talking about it block as limit. So therefore the transaction goes to the operator. Operator is also a CDSI key. So let's say it's just someone who will pay for you. It's like your blind date that is paying for you. But yeah, why? Because this particular operator is already subscribed, or should be already in Happy Path, or should be already subscribed to the LSP7 token. At this scenario, it will be amount of 5. In our model, one transaction equals 1 token. Nothing more, nothing less. Don't count the gas. Don't worry about it. Relayer will solve it, and the business will solve it. So
that's an awesome, even further abstraction away from like what my understanding of LUKSO's original repo that he's actually like trying to merge his branch into for the hackathon is like, hey, like one transaction equals 1 UN10 token here. This is just like an awesomely simplified way for operators of relays. And I want to start like, he's using these terms here like relay, controller, operator, fee recipient, which is awesome, but you need to start thinking like user, controller, NFT issuer, fee recipient. And like, again, because like the operators here need to become the brands that build on this chain, need to start looking and thinking how to make the ongoing users stay on the L1 effortless. And that comes with more features like account abstraction, gas abstraction, relayers, you know, and just honestly, this type of model, when it's token based, makes sense for so many types of apps and users. Where I also believe I saw another slide where he was talking about like the maximum gas allowed for a block per transaction, and just like ways to like even further optimize for slippage and the average cost of what a UN1 token is from the operator's standpoint. All of that math is going to be really interesting to see at scale. But like if I was thinking of building a project on LUKSO, and I'm trying to think about what are the low-hanging fruits of utility functions that I can add to my projects to make provide a closed net value for value type of offering to my users, I would be researching relayers and watching this and like contacting anybody who knows how to do this, including myself and or Blaze, to figure that out, because this is a huge unlock that all these projects, like, you're not going to be able to launch a successful project or collection without adding these type of benefits for users, early users, that they expect that you re-up out of the coffers of whatever like tokenized raise or Web3 agency dev shop you're going to launch your product like collection. Like, these are just like the on-chain business opportunity. You're not going to be like, in a couple years, if you're not doing something like this, you're not going to get any traction. People are going to be looking for people who can implement stuff like this, because that shows that I'm investing in more than a JPEG. There's a builder and an innovator behind this project, and he's shipping.
let's assume that this persona got a great profile with like already set up amount of 5 LSP7 token authorized. The profile was authorized to the operator already for the amount of 5. To not get this complicated very much, you will see that operator have leaks. Operator need to have a lot of leaks, if there's the traffic. So let's say amount of 500. This amount, we will talk about it later on. When the relayer sends the transaction to the blockchain, also sends another tricky transaction, or not tricky, another awesome transaction. Chargeback 3.0. You're right. The operator will transfer the relayee LSP7 token to the fee recipient. So after transfer, you will notice that it has changed. It has 2. On the relay side, LSP7 amount is 2. Fee recipient amount is 1. Still, operator is authorized, but only for the amount of 4, not 5, because 1 was spent. And you will see that the balance of the operator after that operation went down slightly. Depends on the heaviness of the transaction, how heavy it is in terms of gas. And moreover, at this phase, you really can afford using LUKSO as a mainnet and pay friction of what you would be paying in the future. One example, if you want to create universal profile by your own, which I did, it's something like 0.1 licks in order to create that like 1 by 1 consecutively. If you would be using LSP standard that aggregates that, most probably it will be lower, but I have seen that like 0.1 is something that I spent to create the profile for the girl from Lima, for example. So it's at the moment of recording is like 60 cents, 70 cents, but I imagine the profiles will be way more costly later on. So like if you're really watching that in 2023 or early 2024, like go for it, man, go for it, girl. Like create profiles that make sense. Okay, let's talk about the operator motivation, because this is how it will decentralize. So operator motivation is, as long as I have leaks, I can survive and I can still be like a bartender or like, you know, anyone who helps you to figure out what to do on the blockchain and like provide you the gasless experience. So as long as relay is subscribed to the operator and has enough LSP7 tokens, operator is willing to execute relayee's transactions. That's one assumption. Another assumption is that business model between operator and fee recipient can vary. It can be the same person or totally different business entities. Even it can be burned if you would like to. And also, in a transaction count model where 1 token equals 1 transaction, operator knows beforehand that he or she won't spend more than block gas limit.
This is awesome, because like this is the economics of what this model works, where 1 LSP token is 1 transaction, and everything that I was talking about previously is just even brought more home with like a base primitive of what the business model is for this. This is amazing.
And let's go to the right. You can see scenario operator is also a fee recipient. I mean by that this is the same person, the same computer there, the same keys operating that. So given I am an operator and I am the fee recipient, when I execute relay request, which means that relay came to me and I executed that, I paid licks for that.
Oh, there's a further separation between an operator and a fee recipient. They don't have to be the same entity, which will change the economic model a little bit.
I take 1 token from the relayee, but I pull it. Not the relay pushes it to me. I pull it from the relayee stake as an operator. And let's do some mainnet maths, because on the testnets you will have like you don't care about gas, but in mainnet you do. Even if it is 1 cent or a fraction of a cent, you do. So why would I, in that particular scenario, run operator, like run a relayer as operator? Simple answer. Gas limit is 0.042 of licks, which is fraction of cents at this point when I'm recording. Standard transaction, like lightweight, is like 0.0002, and the chargeback TX, you can click it when you have like really the presentation, if you have an access. You will see that for this block number, you also can click there to confirm what I have said. Chargeback TX cost me 0.0001 as an operator, so it's really difference of 0.4 of licks. It's quite a lot for one transaction to be in your pocket as a difference, but you won't be getting licks, but you will be getting one Uni1IO token or any other LSP7 token in that scenario. So how do you exchange that? How do you charge? How do you get the charger working for your universal profile? That's not the scope of this presentation, but again, it's possible and gives a huge initiative to the ecosystem to run many relayers and like host them somewhere and just use the tokens for that. Okay, why I have said that it is decentralized? Because it's many to many approach, so many operator to many users. Feel free to use it. Feel free to use any kind of token you would like to experience. But I strongly feel that aggregating relayers in 1 or 2 or 3 like initiatives of the tokens will be more beneficial than any relayer has own token scenario, because the toolset to build will be much higher and the delivery will come later on, so it's better to have it sooner. So when? You will ask when. Is there? Now. You could use it now. If you want to figure it out by yourself, I strongly advise to do. If you can, you're really worthy. So contact me, maybe we'll build something together. But if you want to hire us, I mean by the MIB, just reach out to us and reach out to me and just like talk about it, because we are boutique dev house that specializes on universal profiles and all the tooling that is needed to create either is there, or we can create it, or we can reuse it. After this small commercial of my company, I will tell you more about like too long didn't read. Who has licks can operate the relayer. Who has Uni1IO token can execute via the relayer. Who has Uni1IO can forge licks. By forge, I mean something similar to swap. So you will send or burn Uni1IO tokens to get licks back. Who has licks can charge Uni1IO. By charge, I mean like a charging station. If you have licks, man, we are happy to get that licks, convert that to Uni1IO and give you more. But before that happens, and before you will be able to using charger, most probably there will be other applications that will be doing that. Okay, let's decentralize the relayers. Fill the form out here or use the QR code. Thank you. That's all from my side. Now there will be small end-to-end explanation of the scope that I did. Here I will show you how it works when you have a token but you have not authorized the operator. So here's the operator, it's the token address. I will try to send a transaction. I have a quota but I am not authorized yet. You see? Couldn't fulfill the request. Why? Because I need to authorize to the LSP7. Here I will show you the happy path if I want to send a fraction of licks into the other account and the other universal profile. First of all, I'm in a dashboard that LUKSO provided. It's just a wallet. I can see my token. You can see that's 10,097. If I go back and want to click send, I pick very low amount lowest possible in the UI. I will try to send it to my MIT, my company, and voila, here I am connected to my relayer. I send, and you can see that my relayer received a request where I have quota that you was seeing before. Now transaction is completed. After the transaction was completed, I dispatch chargeback, which means that I will be sending one Uni1 IO token into the universal profile of your recipient. And this happens automatically. Now you can see 10,097, but it will soon change to 96 since there is a slight delay in a UI. So that's the happy path.
That's so cool.
For more details, I will go to the Explorer, paste the transaction, and you will see all the details. You will see that from is totally different than the UP controller. It means that it was relayed, and this particular person interacted with the contract, and it's a fraction of the leaks. Therefore, there are logs, internal takes, and other stuff that you might explore by yourself, what's happening there. And this is overall change of the balance.
I love how this is on mainnet. That's so awesome, man. Like, what an amazing, what an absolutely sweet project. The code is all right here, waiting to be merged on this, in this branch. It's so cool. Obviously starring this because this is just invaluable for the future of UI. This whole repo is just like a microservice that abstracts gas on LUKSO, and you can tie it to a project. You can make it, you could do a lifetime subsidy as long as like the economics make sense into like a multi-sig of an org from a NFT collection that you just like ping and hit, and like instead of doing LSP7s, you can make it an LSP8 where like you own this NFT and we got your gas, fam. Like you're one of us, you know. Amazing project. Blaze, thank you for your service to the LUKSO ecosystem. This has been the review of the Decentralized Relayer project that won on buildUP2. This video has gone on for so long. I'm going to have to shut it down. But thank you for coming here, everyone. This has been a lot of fun. Don't know how to stop my recording now. Maybe just like stop QuickTime screen recording. Is there a keyboard? Or use the touch bar? Oh, there's a touch bar, of course.